You're waiting for that bite. You're just waiting to see the seas part. And to all of a sudden hear somebody, yell from the bridge, right long, or one on the swim bait or whatever. The excitement and the adrenaline just blows through your whole body. It's incredible. And then to see them the first initial jump, how big is that fish gonna be? Is it gonna be 200? Is it gonna be 1,200? And then once you get that fish into the chair and you get that drag up, the boat starts backing down on the fish. You're getting water, splashing up over the covering boards. And once you see that giant black marlin jump out of the water and you see how wide its back is and it's going away from you, there's no better feeling. I'm Kevin Hibbard from Kona, Hawaii. My main job and lifelong disease is blue marlin fishing. I'm here in Australia right now, getting ready to embark onto the famous GBR for black marlin. Here it is 2024. My first stint here was in 2004. This is what we all want. This is why we're here. I think we got to give all the credit in the world to Captain George Bransford that caught the first 1,000-pound marlin off the Great Barrier Reef. I think it was a little 32-foot boat that he called the Sea Baby. And in 1966, he had his angler, Richard Obach, I believe it was, that made history, catching the first 1,000-pound black marlin here, 1,064-pounder. Once the word of that got around the world, that made the fire grow in a lot of these people that want to catch, that giant fish. So there's probably someone hooked up to a monster out there right now. That's what's so incredible. It's like the anticipation. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. We get on a plane tomorrow morning early, little puddle jumper, head to Cooktown, get on the Cape Koa with famous Lukey Fallon, which I'm super excited about, and his crew, Josh Allwood. And this time tomorrow, we could be celebrating of hanging one, or awesome day, of seeing fish and telling stories. I mean, that's what half of this fishing is telling stories, and reliving the stories and then making new stories. And that's what we're gonna be doing the next 4 or 5 days, is making new stories.
So to get to the Great Barrier Reef is quite an adventure. The whole journey, it was probably 40 plus hours door to door. Everybody's super tired and exhausted from the travel, but yet you wouldn't have noticed it because everybody was so fired up with the adrenaline and excitement of what we were going to get to do. We had our distributors meeting us. We had 2 boats that were planned to go out. So kind of a trip of a lifetime.
Hey, Lukey.
How are you, mate?
How's it going, mate?
Good, how's things?
Good to see you, man.
Yeah,
Great, man. Been looking forward to this for months, man.
Been a long time.
20 years, man.
Yeah, so the reef here is a pretty special spot. First watched a movie from out here back when I was like 13, and I'm like, this is what I'm doing. Yeah, luckily, I've made my dreams happen, and I've dedicated my whole life to it. We've got basically 100 miles of unbroken reef that we can fish in front of and anchor behind at night time. So today we're going to head up to probably the most famous of the reefs during the marlin season here, number 10 ribbon. Lots of big marlin being caught up there over the years, that's for sure. This is the first year in a long time that Kelly hasn't been on the boat with us, so it's been a bit of a culture shock for me especially. And it's just such a huge role that she does on this boat, and hard to fill. As everyone would have seen, her photography is just absolutely amazing, so I'm looking forward to getting her back next year.
This is primarily a deadbait fishery over here. They pull lures here and there, but not very often. What we're doing is we're gonna throw out a few lures today. We're coming out between number 3 and number 4 ribbon. and we need to make some headway to get up to number 10, which is 30 miles away. So by pulling baits from here up to there, it's going to take us all day. So by putting some lures out, we can shorten up our time by quite a bit. And then once we get up there, we can get the baits out and stuff like that. This is the XL Hibby. We have the OG Hibby, and then we also have the Lil Hibby.
Hey guys, my name's Josh Allwood. I pull on big fish for a living. Out here working aboard the Coca-Cola right now on the Great Barrier Reef, fishing the black marlin season. Currently off ribbon number 10 reef. Haven't had a bite so far today, but it's coming. Pulling on a big black marlin is pretty much the funnest thing you can do with your pants on. It's pretty big adrenaline rush, like for the black marlin season, we get a lot of small models, like, that 100 to 300 pound range. And because we're using such heavy tackle, they're pretty frisky, like, you don't want to pull them too hard and backflip because they'll jump straight in the boat. So you got to be real finesse, just walking the dog like that. But when you get that 800 pound plus model on, you get in your 2 wraps, locking your knees under here, and you're just hanging on with your life and pow, So this is my 9th black marlin season here on the Great Barrier Reef. This is the 4th.
That's a marlin now. Kind of wish I had a scat out there now.
And we're on, just like that.
Yeah! What you got, Kevin?
In 30 years of being in the sport fishing business, I've only caught 6 marlin in the chair, and those were blue marlin. On this trip, I was being thrown into the gauntlet. Sometimes it hurts, especially on a big one.
Yeah, I got Josh on the wire. Try to get it up quick for Josh to have a good show, and the fish did some, epic jumps, dodging around the boat, which is always killer. And then I've got one of, my idols, driving on the fish, Fallon on the Coca-Cola. It just couldn't get any better than that. And, all of a sudden, we got the fish super, super quick. I think just a couple minutes. Got a nice release on her. Everybody was all super stoked, super pumped.
I'm so glad that the boys were there to put me in the chair and let me get a go at it. So, yeah, unreal experience. The other part of being on the reef, everybody thinks it's solely, black marlin fishing, but there's so much more to it. You wake up in the morning, you have your coffee, you laugh and all that stuff about what happened the night before, cocktail time. We even got to get onto Lizard Island, which was really iconic to me. Last time I was on there was 20 years ago. Go to the Blue Marlin bar, and hang out and tell stories and stuff, which was awesome. Taking the tender back to the boat, it's always an adventure. But in the mornings, after talking about what we did the day before or the night before, we just didn't go straight into black marlin fishing. We would go and catch some baits and stuff like that. Then we'd go, on a killer dive, which the dive on the reef here is just, it's unreal. I live in Hawaii. We have really killer reefs and stuff like that, but there's nothing that compares to the Great Barrier Reef. The colors, the fish, it's a giant aquarium. And then after that, to go popper fishing for, the big GTs, sea bass, Spanish mackerel, whatever, but it's truly an experience. It's not just the black marlin fishing that makes it so special. It's on the top, believe me, but it's the people that you're surrounded with, and we were definitely surrounded with the best of the people in the world.
Luke and I fished side by side for near on 40 years. The fish here, the black marlin, You know, it's the greatest fishery in the world to catching large ones, and that's what everyone wants to do, is catch a large one. Yesterday we got really lucky, had Beth on board with us, got a bite out of a nice one. You know, she did a great job in the chair. Fish did lots of jumps around the back of the boat, and she did a hell of a job catching a 700 pounder. It was a joy to be part of it.
It's a pretty cool feeling out here when you get people come on big trips, spend a lot of money. Might not be their first marlin we're catching, but if they see that giant come out of the water or whatever, and the excitement of the people, it's such a special feeling, and we still get the same buzz out of it, even though we get to see it probably more than most people do. Pretty cool office, you know, you get to wake up on the Great Barrier Reef every morning, so after that it's just rig these and fingers crossed wire and marlin. Like, it's not bad. Couldn't have got more lucky, you know, get to learn off some of the best people, and Luke's all right, you know.
Scattering. They're going for like 25 minutes now.
I've only got 8 of them in.
They're getting chopped off.
He's a f***ing hard ass, that's for sure.
Yep, another victim of Wahoo. Most likely won't be the last victim today to one of them suckers.
Yeah, back into Lizard Island for the night here, just to show the boys the island, and yeah, it's a pretty special place, this joint. This is pretty much where it all started for me, and the resort was just a small little fishing resort back then. It was pretty much just put here just to accommodate the fishery, and now it's turned into this big eco-tourism resort that's 5-star.
What made Lizard Island such a special place was it was in the closest proximity to one of the best fishing ribbons on the Great Barrier Reef, and that's ribbon number 10. It was only 12 miles outside, and it made the accessibility so much easier. The place has seen so many granders. I mean, once they got that big game fishing club established and tournaments started happening, the amount of 1,000-pounders that were coming in was crazy. I mean, it's one of the only places or tournaments that I know that multiple granders were being weighed in a day. That was truly incredible.
One of these is going to get a grander black. 12, 1300.
The amazing part about this place is every second you've got that bait in the water out there, something special potentially could happen. You know, just because you've had a few slow days and fishing's been tough for you, it just takes a millisecond for that giant one to come up and eat your bait, and all that's forgotten.
Well, after I got my 300-pound black, things just got slow. And you have that in this business. It's either you're in the hot seat or you're not. You know, we got 30 minutes left before we got to pull lines in. And I looked up and I saw this fish that was lit up like I've never seen before in my life. I've never seen so much blue back there, especially on a black marlin. And that fish did a big turn and a crash bite, just massive. I mean, water everywhere. Reels start screaming, and this is a fish that we've been waiting for.
Oh, we just got bit. Been waiting all afternoon for this.
I transfer into the chair. I get clipped in. I'm in my head now, like, okay, not only are we on, I'm in the chair, but it's the one that we've been wanting, and we only got an hour left in the trip before we're done. We get the fish to leader, Josh gets his wraps around, and I'm able to then see the fish for the first time come out of the water, and it was the biggest fish I've ever seen. You know, the bill, the width of a bat at the tip. And I couldn't even fathom how big this fish was. I see it just come out of the water and do the most violent crazy head shake I've ever seen. This like dinosaur fish coming out and just bam, bam. And then it kind of goes down and then it comes back up and does it again. And all of a sudden I just see him just like, oh, thing's just going. And it just put its head down like, I'm out of here, and just swam, just boom, boom, and just took off into the abyss. I hope everybody has the opportunity to experience something like that.
Crikeys, back after 4 days on the Great Barrier Reef. It was everything that I expected and more. We started off with the boys on the other boat. They all caught a black marlin, with Beth catching the biggest one at 700 pounder. We were truly stoked on that, to see her get that fish. I ended up catching a 350 pound black marlin for the first time in the chair, which was perfect, not too big, not too small. And then on the last day coming back into Cooktown, we got rewarded with a 900 pounder, the one that we were looking for. And that made the entire trip. It made everything come together. And just can't wait to get back over here to the reef. This is the land of dreams and giants.
Captains, 20 Coronas, 5 Red Bulls, 0 fish, you got 15 scalies. Great Barrier Reef.